Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm back, and it's time to talk about the fourth episode of Insecure. Uh, the fourth episode of Insecure. Faulty okay on that came on last night. And let me just say this, y'all. This season, Insecure is trash. Now, at first, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be so sad to see it go. But if this is the kind of bullshit that they about to be giving us for what 6 more episodes, I'm glad to see it go. I remember watching the first 2 seasons of Insecure being entirely entertained and amused throughout the entire episodes. And then we got to season 3. I'm like, that's it? That's the end of the episode? They talking about this is a fucking half-hour comedy. I'm like, that shit wasn't even funny. Talking about some comedy. So this episode, this season, they've only given us one good episode out of 4. The rest of these episodes, it's like the season premiere was just okay. The second episode was boring. And then, like I said, the third episode was great. This episode was fucking boring. It's like, here we go. It's a Nathan episode. They're introducing, him and his barbershop buddies. They forcing Ryan Davis fat ass on us. I'm like, he's not even funny. It's like my brother used to say all the time, like when it comes to social media, thought I heard something. When it comes, oh, them the birds. When it comes to social media, comedians or funny people, it's like they're only funny on social media for like what 15 to 45 seconds, and then you get the motherfuckers in a show or a movie for an extended amount of time. They are not funny. I was not amused by any of Ryan Davis's lines at all. He was fucking boring. So anyway, this episode, it opens up. They're going to the beach. Nathan's barbershop is having this beach event. He took Issa's idea, and him and his friends, I don't know their damn names. Let's just say Ryan Davis and the other guy. I think his name was Ari, something like that. Just call him Ari. So they're in there talking about, the event, and all of a sudden, Little Bitty with the big titties come up, and I didn't even recognize her. I guess she's in Nathan's barbershop here and there, but she comes over. They talking about some shit like I don't even know. I can't even remember what the fuck they were talking about, but for real. Well, the funny thing was when they were quote unquote putting on sunscreen and it turned out to be Aveeno, and I've had like Aveeno from like Sam's Club. Y'all know when you buy some shit at Sam's Club, it's in bulk. So I bought that shit. That shit's, it didn't stink, but it definitely didn't smell good. I didn't like the way it felt. I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking. So Aveeno, I guess, if it's a substitute for sunscreen, cool, use it. But I would never buy that shit as like just casual lotion ever again in life. That shit was awful. I don't even know what I expected. I guess I had no expectations, but I never buy a bottle. I definitely never buy it from Sam's Club again. I just need one itty bitty bottle of Aveeno, if any. But with that being said, so Issa, Molly, and Kelly arrive at the beach, and they are all looking so good. Molly's looking like the bad bitch that she is. I like that full piece, that turquoise blue piece that well, it wasn't turquoise, but that aqua blue piece that Kelly had on. Issa liked her braids. They all look very good, and Issa's very much so tripping about the awkward ass exchange between her and Nathan, because last time, as she said, she cried in his mouth, wondered how her tears tasted and shit like that. And they like, well, go find out how it is. Meanwhile, they ogling all the niggas up on the beach. They said it's niggas like in bulk, just like Costco. Shout out to Costco. Anyway, so Issa decides to go talk to Nathan, and it is extremely fucking awkward. And that's like one thing that I've noticed with this season in particular of Insecure, is that they've written Issa's character to be extremely more awkward than she is normally. Like, the bitch is talking to herself like in front of people, like saying a few, like she's saying like a couple sentences, like some things you just whisper to the side, like she's just weird as hell in front of people. I'm like, Issa's never really been this weird. If anything, she never wanted to talk too much for fear of embarrassing herself. So why do y'all have her like, oh yeah, what's the temperature? 74? Nah, it's 81. What you think it is? No. It wasn't even that. She was like, oh, they just made her real goofy. Like when she was talking to him and she was like, yeah, you the GHP. Like, you been doing this since we got here. Like, she ain't never been that corny for real. So that's just one thing I've noticed with this season alone. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But she's talking to Nathan baldhead ass. And I don't care what nobody tell me. Kendrick Sampson is gay. He's gay. You ain't never seen him with no woman. You ain't never gonna see him with no woman. It's like him he's not giving me masculine. It's not resonating with me the way that it's resonated with me with every other male on the show. And speaking of every other male on the show, where's Andrew and Julian? So we just got rid of them. Like, they're not showing up to their boys' event. Like, okay, I want to see what the fuck Andrew is. But regardless of the fact, you know, she's talking to him and she's like, hey, is everything all right? Like, are we still friends? And he like, yeah, we still friends. Now, if y'all remember, Issa with her hoe ass, you know, she just wanted to fucking... She was all good on the Nathan train until Lawrence had showed back up and they had started talking. Then all of a sudden she wanted to explore what her and Lawrence may or may not have. Now all of a sudden, Lawrence is having a baby. He's with child and shit, and his ass is in motherfucking San Fran. Now all of a sudden she wants to come get back with Nathan. That shit is trash. Issa is such a fucking trash character to me. Like, if you wasn't checking for the bitch, don't check for the bitch. Don't sit up here and try to be like, oh, well, Lawrence is gone and I'm not about to be no stepmama to his little bastard anyway, so I may as well go get back with Nathan. Like, all of a sudden you feeling Nathan, all of a sudden he's just looking ever so good to you, Issa. That character is garbage. But anyway, you know, Nathan's like, yeah, we still friends, because he don't know where the fuck to go with her ass, because she don't even know where the fuck she's going. So Issa's like, everything's cool. Nathan is chilling out, waiting on the pizza. Meanwhile, he has to go figure out what's going on with that. Kelly and Risha turn out to be like great friends all of a sudden. I don't really have much for this whole beach scene. Like, you had like a couple little funny moments here and there, but I feel like I really just went in on the whole thing between Issa and Nathan. Like, I'm just not seeing it for Issa. And I feel like at some point, Lawrence is like, he's going to move back to LA because the shit between him and Condola is not working. Okay. So he's going to come back. He's going to see all this bullshit with Issa and Nathan is going to like, he and Condola are not going to go anywhere. So he's going to try to come stir all that up. I don't know. Either she's not going to get back with Lawrence or she's going to want to wipe the slate clean with both them niggas and just be single for towards the end of when the show is over, Issa's going to be single. Like, she's going to find a new man, you know, with the show being off. Well, anyway, so, you know, Issa, you know, she wants to play spades. It was funny when Kelly was like, we're not teaching you how to play spades at your big ass age. You should have learned that shit when you was fucking 14. I feel like I learned how to play spades before I was even a fucking a preteen. So, like, it's very simple. You match the cards with the cards. That's like the basic I know. Now, I'm definitely no spades pro, but I do know you do clubs with clubs, hearts with hearts, spades with spades, and diamonds with diamonds. And I do know that spades take precedent over all, like, it's a hierarchy. I think it's hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades. So, regardless, they weren't teaching her. Molly wants to fuck, you know, she ain't heard from, like, the door is closed with her and Dro. She ain't seen Andrew in how long? I guess that guy from college, that didn't really take off. So now, you know, she's trying to get some new dick. But what's notable about Molly in this scene, this scene is that she's not pressed about it. She's like, I'm about to let these niggas meet me. I'm gonna let these niggas fawn over me. And everybody's eligible until they disqualify themselves, which is a great way of thinking. It's like a far cry from the way that Molly used to be. She used to think that everybody was ineligible until they qualified. And it's like, that's not the way. I mean, if that's the case, why are you dating? So after the whole beach scene, Nathan's event had to get shut down because it was a fucking little minor earthquake, which I would never live in Los Angeles. I'm not living anywhere that has natural disasters. Over here in boring ass northwestern Indiana, we only have, we have the potential to have tornadoes, but we don't even have those for real. No hurricanes, no earthquakes, no tsunamis, none of that goofy shit. That's all we got is a little bit of issues with wind. But other than that, I think I'm fine with just traveling places. I'll travel there for a little bit and take my ass back home. I will be on the next thing smoking, okay? But yeah, it was a bust. Like, he didn't want it to be a flop. So he was like, you know what, everybody come to this bar, drinks are on me. So at the bar, you know, Kelly and Risha chopping it up. On the way to the bar, though, Issa wanted to know, was Nathan single? After watching Well, I don't know if that was really happening or if that was just what was happening in her mind when Nathan was fixing Risha's shoe, and she was over there looking like she was getting her pussy eaten through her Daisy Dukes. Issa needed to know, and Molly just flat out asked the bitch, like, "Are you fucking Nathan?" She's like, "Nah, but are you trying to fuck? I can hook that up." And Issa's like, "Bitch, you just called this nigga your brother. Like, how many brothers have we called our brothers and we were fucking them?" But Risha doubled down on it. She said, "Nah, that's my blood. Okay, now if you fucking your blood brother, that's gross, and you shouldn't even say that out in public. I shouldn't know that unless I'm on the dark side of Freak Twitter and I see you on that fucking your blood brother. Okay." But they find out the thing is good to go. Meanwhile, in Nathan's car, they're calling Issa his girl, and he's like, "That's not my girl. She all over the place. She don't know what the fuck she want to do." And they gave him some sound advice and was like, obviously she wants to be here with you. She wanted to come talk to you. She wanted to come make up with you. So obviously she wants to be with you. And then on the other hand, in Issa's car, Molly's damn near telling her the same thing. Like, just go figure it out. Go get your man. So they go to the bar. Okay. Nathan is met with his cousin and his wife, and it was just like nonstop jokes about this nigga being a wandering walker. Okay, they call him a light-skinned leaf blowing in the wind. That was pretty funny. Like how his ass just be gone, and you could tell in Nathan's face he is not feeling these comments. Now, of course, we know he takes off because he's bipolar, but it's clear like they don't know, and he's never told them, because if they did know, they wouldn't made any references or any jokes to him disappearing. They wouldn't have been trying to make that funny. But Issa, she stood up for her light skin and was like, "Well, I'm so glad he blew my way." Yeah, bitch, you were so glad he blew your way until he ended up blowing the other way. But she did tell the truth. She was like, "You know what? He helped me get on my shit and actually, take my business, start pursuing things I want to pursue seriously. And here we are today," which is why her ass was getting, all kind of, Ashley Lip, Crenshaw, he was giving her, all the heat on Twitter with the thinking emoji, like, Oh, you throw good events, huh? The blow CC throws. Oh, okay. Because I don't know nothing about that shit, bitch. But, she was, taking up for her light skin, and everything was cool. Molly is still trying to decide who she wants to fuck between the other friend and then, what's his name? Archie. So, she's trying to decide who she wants to fuck. And meanwhile, Kelly and and Risha, I don't know. I thought that was just so weird. And it's like, here we go with Kelly not being the joke or not wanting to be the joke, and then literally in the 2 episodes later, she's back to being the joke. Like, nothing substantial coming from that character. Like, she's in the back having this weird ass conversation with Risha while the main plot is going on. I'm like, okay, y'all were inconsistent. But with that said, what ended up happening? I can't remember what actually led up to them wanting to go to that Jason Derulo club. But even then, back to Ryan Davis's character, it's like, niggas do not give a fuck about Jason Derulo. So to have Ryan Davis's big ass being this Jason Derulo fan singing a Jason Derulo song was just like, it was corny, it was lame, it was unrealistic. I'm like, why is he here? Go get Andrew and Julian back. Seriously. And then we could have seen the tension. I would rather see the tension between Andrew and Molly than her decide who the fuck she want to put her pussy on. So, anyway, they go to the club. Because I can't remember. It was all, like I said, y'all, this shit was boring. Like, when it's boring, I don't have a lot to talk about. Like, it's, like, I don't want to find things to talk about when Insecure just to make the video, like, worthwhile. I'd rather, like, it actually be genuine and like, I actually have a litany of opinions to express on the show, but I don't. So, they go to the club. Archie, I guess he thought he knew somebody. Molly decided that she was gonna roll with him instead of the bald head dude, and And he was like, oh, I can get all y'all in. You know, that very niggerish, oh, yeah, I know somebody who's going to let us all in. And then when you get there, he can't let none of y'all in. So he's only able to take Molly in the club. Molly's like, oh, yeah, there's a side door. But Nathan follows his cousin Thomas around, and he's like, hell, why y'all leaving? I just wanted to show y'all. It was good to have y'all around. I really want to show y'all why that I got my life together. And it ended up leading to the fact that Thomas let the bell ring that, you know, it wasn't that his wife didn't want him around. It was because he didn't want him around because Nathan was, you know, showed up abruptly, was never there. And then when he did there, he was coming up like late at night, left the door open when the man has kids. He was like, yeah, I didn't want your ass around. That shit was weird as fuck. And then Nathan obviously didn't say anything about him being bipolar. And then he didn't say nothing about him being bipolar then. And then, you know, you could tell he was very shaken up by it. But Thomas, you know, let him know, like, he still wants to talk and still wants to remain, you know, try to have a close cousin relationship. But Nathan is very, you know, perturbed by it. And it's like, you know, he's in a state like he wants to be offended, but you can't because dude's not lying. He's telling the truth. This is things that you did. And I still don't even know why you did it. Like, he didn't even say why he did anything. All he could say was like, I'm not that guy anymore. And it's like, well, when you fuck with people's trust like that, people don't really want to see if you still that guy. People just like, okay, I'm cool on you from a distance. So Issa ends up coming to check on Nathan, and he's like, you know, give me a minute. And Issa waits 15 seconds, so she goes to go follow him out in the mountain somewhere. So he explains to Issa that, you know, he had a manic episode when he was staying with them, and he didn't tell them. And Issa, I really just don't see this working because I feel as though he ghosted you one time. You know, Issa doesn't know what it's like to date somebody with a problem, with an affliction. And then as we've seen when Lawrence is having his problem, she got up out of there. So I don't know if Issa will be able to deal with somebody who is bipolar, especially if he takes his meds all the time. If he doesn't take his meds all the time, I don't see her being able to deal with that. Because like a baby is a lifelong obligation, bipolar disorder is a lifelong affliction that you have to, like, it comes with its ups and downs. And Issa's not somebody who can really, has ever shown us that she can deal with somebody when they're down. Like, i.e. when Lawrence was down, she went to go cheat. So I don't know. Nathan very well may have a bipolar episode, and she may go fuck Lawrence because she didn't know what to do. Let's see if that shit happens. But, you know, she tells Lawrence that she don't want to be friends with him. And he tells her he doesn't want to be friends with her either. They kiss. They feel a shake from the earthquake. And, you know, he's like, you know, did you feel that? But he wasn't talking about the earthquake. But it's like, did you really get an erection while y'all kiss? Like, that's all it takes. Like, just imagine how he was when he was in that bed with Issa. And then that was the end of the episode. Y'all, this episode was boring. It really was boring. I can't believe almost 20 minutes talking about this shit. I'm just not impressed with Insecure. Like, I remember Insecure has a habit of being good subject matter wise, but not staying true to the comedy. Because, like I said, season 3 did not get funny until the Coachella episode. And that's when Chad and Lawrence were reintroduced. And then we had them for the rest of the season. That's when the season started to get good. But that was towards the end of the season. Season 4 was really good. I really enjoyed that season. So my favorite, I can't put on I don't know. 1 and 2 are like really good. But I don't think 4 is better than either 1 or 2. So I would do, let's do 1, 2, 4, maybe 5, and then 3. But yeah, it's just not good. I'm not enjoying it so far. And like, I wish I was doing these reviews. I wish I was watching Insecure in 2016 when it started and did my reviews then, because I didn't start doing these reviews until season 3, like I said, which was not a good season to start doing my reviews. But that's all I got, y'all. I ain't got no more. I'll see y'all next week for the next episode. Hopefully it's a lot better.